2007, the Patriots. Yeah, guys, we went ahead and went into a time machine. Went back to 2007. But I'm going to tell you right now, some of these portraits will be incorrect. The player models are correct, but the portraits are not. So, for some reason, most of them are correct. Like, for example, Kurt Warner is Kurt Warner. You can see him. That's not Matt Leinart. The sad part is there's only a certain amount of player portraits in Madden database. What we do usually with mods is we go in and we actually add in the correct portraits, you know, through mods and stuff like that. But today we're just kind of rocking and rolling. It is the same player. It's just the portrait's incorrect. So you see in the left-hand corner, the portrait being wrong, just, you know, you understand the whole concept there. So let's just get right into this. We got Brian Urlacher back on the Bears. Lance Briggs. Some of these are going to be pretty funny, actually. Because some of them, again, what it is portraits are a number, right? Also, I believe Muhammad is black. But anyway, you have like a portrait number, and then that associates to a certain player. So, Bears back in 2007 wasn't really that amazing. Carson Palmer, you got Willie Anderson, Chad Johnson, the white version. Again, his player model is correct. It's just the actual portrait is incorrect. Rudy Johnson, who I want to say that's Chris Evans. Yeah, I think that's Chris Evans. Andrew Whitworth, that is Big Whit right there. That is actually correct. TJ Houshmandzadeh, if he was white. Some of these player portraits, man, I love them. Sam Adams, who was white, but this is not his player portrait. Landon Johnson. Going down, we got the Bills here. And I'm just going to kind of go through these quickly because I don't want to spend the whole video on this. We can always do that. But if you guys see my 2007 videos before, you know what they look like. Most of these rosters. I just wanted to look at some of these portraits because I always find them funny. But like, again, most of the legends will have the correct portraits, except for Jeff Saturday, who is a big white guy, and that's not a big white guy. Reggie Wayne, Bob Sundas, we got Adam Vinatieri, we got the Cowboys, we got Zach Thomas, who I'm pretty sure that's not Zach Thomas. We got Weapon X on the Eagles, Westbrook on the Eagles. I mean, man, it's weird going back and seeing some of these rosters just to like what they look like nowadays versus what they looked back in the day. They're absolutely insane. Like, I kind of forget about some of these players that played back in the day that I grew up watching and loved. Like Steve Smith-Sonor on the Panthers. Jake Delhomme on the Panthers. Like this, wow. Julius Peppers in his prime when he was 26 and still an absolute monster. Tom Brady at 29. Again, the undefeated season. Mike Vrabel on the same team as Tom Brady. That is not Mike Vrabel, but that's beside the point. Nandi Ashimura. Definitely not Nandi. Randy Moss at 29 on the Raiders. We have Orlando Pace, Mark Bolger, Toy Holt. Ravens had Ogden, they had Chris McAllister, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Derek Mason. Drew Brees back on the Saints with Reggie Bush. Seahawks rocking with Trufant. Steelers with Troy Polamalu. Still rocking with a young, very, very young Big Ben. David Carr, the black version. Flanagan. And these teams. We got the Titans. We got the Vikings. Who was their quarterback? Culpepper? No, they had Brad Johnson and Tavares Jackson. Tavares Jackson, who I remember more than that. All right, so it gets even weirder because we're also in 2021. So for some odd reason, We're not even in 2007 like schedule wise, we're in 2001, which makes this whole entire process so much better. So let's just sim to the playoffs. And listen, I don't know how this is gonna go, but I never know how these videos are gonna go. That's what makes these videos so amazing, is we just go into them and we see how everything, you know, works out. But I think that makes videos the best, is when you don't know how they're gonna go and you just kind of rock and roll with it. Lordy, this is going to be quite the interesting situation. I just know it. All right, so the Bengals went 8-8. So again, we do have 8-game schedule. I mean, 16-game schedule, excuse me. So 8-8, 9-7, 11-5, 10. It's so weird to see it like back in that time, like back in the day when it was like that. It was an 16-game schedule. I'm so used to nowadays with the 17 games, like going 10-7 and stuff like that. But way back in the day, there was only 17 games. 13-3 for the Chargers. So wait, so Chargers won the AFC. NFC was won. Why did they get an X? Okay, so everything's messed up because there's less games than it's supposed to be. Obviously, there's supposed to be 13 games. Like, there's supposed to be, you know, 17 games, so it's all messed up. 12-4. Okay, so who did what? Let's go to stats. 32 touchdowns, 4 interceptions for Carson Palmer. Okay. Who was the best quarterback? Peyton Manning. And kind of makes a logical sense. Drew Brees, though, 42 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Mark Bolger had a good season. Trent Green, Brett Favre still in the league. Vince Young, Mike Vick, Jake Delhomme, the White McNabb, the White McNair, Carson Palmer, Jake Plummer. Oh, who remembers that guy? Dante Culpepper, worst quarterback. 21 touchdowns, 21 interceptions. Jake Delhomme, David Carr. Yeah, David Carr was such a bust. All right, so let's go over to the other positions. I'm going to guess LT leads with running backs or Sean Alexander. Yep, Sean Alexander. The white version. 1,500 yards, 11 touchdowns. Tiki Barber, the Goodyear version. Oh, LT. 18 touchdowns, 1,400 yards. Oh, man, I love this so much. Toy Holt, 1,600 yards. Reggie Wayne, 1,400. The most touchdowns was Toy Holt and Brandon Stokely, the black version. He's actually white in real life. I kind of forgot about Marquise Colson, and they also had someone else on that team I forgot about. Man, these rosters. Strahan, look at that missing tooth in the middle. I love it. The white version of Takeo Spikes. Sean Merriman. His nickname was Lights Out. I would love to see him as an AKA card in Madden. He was Lights Out. He would hit you and you would obviously be lights out. 7 interceptions for D'Angelo Hall. These players, man, I love it. I kind of like it better without the portraits being correct. It makes it so much more fun. Peyton Manning was MVP. Mark Bolger came in second, which is kind of insanely crazy, to be honest. Mark Bolger wasn't bad with the Rams, but he ended up being the Ravens' backup quarterback to, he got paid $11 million to be the backup for Joe Flacco. Chargers, first seed. Giants, first seed. And let's see who ends up going to the Super Bowl. My guess would be the Racers. Chargers versus Cowboys. I kind of figured. Chargers, Cowboys. So Ravens almost went there, which is weird to say that out loud. 2007 Ravens, I did not expect to get even close to a Super Bowl. They would get to the championship in 2009, but that was after Joe Flacco took over. And who wins the Super Bowl? Cowboys. Obviously. It's the Chargers. Wow. Never won a Super Bowl. So kind of crazy to see them win a Super Bowl. Guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. See you guys next one.